Hey, how are you doing, my little paper? Ah! It's not your turn just now. You can wait your turn. Hello, my little dronies. How's it going? So, I'm back, and this video topic is kind of an awkward one because a little bit longer ago I completely ran out of topic ideas and didn't have really an idea what to produce, and I didn't want to drop 2 lore drops back to back, so I decided to make a little fan art competition so I could make a video on that. Well, the timing was a bit unfortunate because then Glitch released new merch and I could make a video on that. Now this video has taken way too long to come out, but I'm not complaining, and I hope the artists that made something also are not complaining. But basically this is a kind of experimental video for me, as I will go over the fan art in chronological order. It's just 5 pieces or something, it's not that much. And next to what I normally would do, just rating them and saying how much I like them and what I like about them, I'm also going to attempt on giving some advice as an artist myself. Only problem is, some of them are already so good that I can barely say anything. But if you enjoy this more educational kind of content, let me know it by liking this video. Maybe if this actually gets a lot of likes, I will do something like that more often and teach you guys how to draw certain stuff. But anyways, let's jump into the first one right away. And the fastest one too was the Boyo Boombop 3D.
Oh god, it's Wendigo Applejack! Hi!
And honestly, this one started off with a banger. This is the drawing that he submitted, which looks really awesome. It depicts a scene of R4 holding up a completely random worker drone, he says. And the scene is inspired from one of my lore videos where I explained that R4 once took down an entire city full of worker drones. And yes, ramming worker drones through buildings was something that she did at that time, or like in my head. But the thing is, this picture depicts the drone exactly after R4 seemingly rammed her through a building, and that drone must be absolutely built different, still be intact. But I love how this drone is just completely terrified and R4 is like, this is just another day, which perfectly encapsulates the entire feeling of R4 that she's just bored of life. And just this drawing overall is really good and amazing because of all the lighting and the moon glowing in the background. And I think this is the first advice I can give any inspire or upcoming artist. Doesn't matter if you draw digitally or on paper, try to give your drawings lighting. As the human brain is a very simple monkey brain, the monkey brain sees something shiny, the monkey brain likes it. So basically what this means for art is if you make something with vibrant colors and especially those glowing bits, the brain just automatically thinks it's better than it already is. So like if you feel insecure about your drawing skills, just try adding lighting everywhere on the parts which glow and which don't. Maybe some shine spots here and there and shadows all around. If you learn that, your drawings will immediately be a lot better to just a regular person. Then, I mean, you as an artist yourself know what you have drawn and what it actually looks like, but the average person doesn't see that, and it will elevate your art way above it was normally. But yeah, for Boombop's art, specific tips for this art piece is pretty much all over good, because like this is another thing, there's a difference between realism and an art style. Boombop 3D's art style, what he has, is really unique. I really like it. I have never seen it anywhere else. That is why I'm such a big fan. For example, this one line arm which stretches out into a bigger arm by R4 is really cool. I like this one a lot. And R4 also used to look a lot different in his art style compared to now. You can still improve if you have like a cartoony or simplish art style. So I think this is really great. If I have to pick some specific tips, like I said with the lighting, what he could have done, like the moon is already very bright and gives off a very lightish feeling, and you can see the moonlight reflecting on the legs of the drone and a bit on the faces. But what he could have done is add glowing parts to the arm reflectors or like the visors, as they are basically like just glowing LEDs. If the lighting is small enough, it's barely noticeable, but it still will give this glowing effect of something happening in the picture. And otherwise the building in itself is very simple, but I mean, it's a wall. What else do you want to draw in it? I like how the dust comes out of it and the rubble and stuff like that. It gives the picture a very moving, flowy feeling. The only thing I might be able to criticize would be that R4's wing looks a bit off, or better to say it blends in with the hair a lot. But again, this could be a practice thing. The wings could be something you could learn over time if you want to, of course. Again, this is not to talk down on others, stuff like that. I'm just trying to give helpful advice because I know it's part of the art style, but I feel like you could still do it a bit better in said art style. So I really like this drawing and I'm giving it 4 invincible references out of 5.
Earth isn't yours to conquer.
But speaking about references, the next one is by elise-da-silly-artist and it's a 4 together with Luz. The two, I love the two absolutely, and I said multiple times that I like to put R4 in different costumes and that she's a cosplayer. And look at that, she's wearing the costume of Mr. Barrel. For those that don't know, I have an absolute complete unhealthy obsession with that character. From whatever his new name is, Emny, I don't know how to pronounce it. He got a new name literally on the day I'm recording this. But the other character is Mr. Hotchkiss, and basically Mr. Hotchkiss and Mr. Barrel are like a gay couple, and I really find them really cute. I can't show too much pictures of them, but I can show this. And looking at the details, like you switch the clothes but still kept the collar of R4, which is important. The collar is a big part of your character on, and the head where normally there's an acorn symbol, there's the disassembly drone logo, and Mr. Barrel has kind of the gun as right hand. And so instead of R4 having that or just hiding it behind the glove, because that is what Mr. Barrel also does a lot, she actually took her side that she uses a lot, like her main weapon, and put it into her arm, which is like, I wouldn't even have thought of that. I would have just popped out a normal gun or something, or drawn the gun that Mr. Barrel has. I really like this. For Luz and Mr. Hotchkiss clothes, the clothes are, I mean, fine, it's a suit, so I don't see anything specific, but it fits her and I really like it. And I quite don't know why she has one hand as a silver claw. Oh wait, this is supposed to be the stapler of Mr. Hotchkiss. Oh, I just realized. I didn't even notice before. Oh wait, Mr. Hotchkiss has like a stapler as a hand and has like a papier-mâché leg as a prosthesis. I just realized this moment at least. Okay, I take everything back what I said. I just realized how cool this is. But anyways, a lot of people, me included, also always forget that R4 has two double stingers. I always forget to draw them every single time, but she actually included them. But for tips of this drawing, I mean, if you look at the eyes and also a bit on the stinger, you can actually see those small glowing bits that I said in the previous drawing, which add a lot more character to it and makes it just flash to the monkey part of your brain and to signal something, hey, it's shiny, that's beautiful, that looks very nice. And doesn't matter what art style, what kind of art you're drawing, it just elevates it. I just realized again, I'm zooming in on Luz's face and there are like little stapler marks on her hair, which Mr. Hotchkiss also has. How many details did you put into this? Why didn't I realize that before? But yeah, I think this is like the costume and everything is fitting because like R4 and Luz are two girls together, Mr. Barrel and Mr. Hotchkiss are two boys together. It just everything fits together perfectly. There's nothing actually there's one thing I can criticize, but it's not even a criticism. I don't quite recognize R4's mouth. It looks a bit odd to me, but I don't know. But again, it's a unique art style. It's nothing where you can complain about. Some people think it's not photorealistic, and that's mean that automatically not good, but that's wrong. It's like, how much can you explore an art style, not how realistic does a drawing look, based on how good you want something to be. This might be difficult to understand in the beginning, but if you're an upcoming artist and learning art, it's important to be the best at what you can do, not be the best at everything that is possible. This drawing gets 5 pride flags. This drawing gets 5 entire pride flags out of. I've tried to sing this like 5 times. I'm good. And now with that, we are finally at the. Oh my god! What the hell is even that? This work of art is made by the creator Sil, and it shows the character Sil traumatizing my poor little girl. Some context I already have mentioned a lot of times, but in the lore of R4, she has massive amounts of trauma from her encounter with Sin and the Solver, and Sil is kinda the absolute Solver incarnated. It's much more complicated, but it's the easiest way to explain. And I really love this art because, I mean, I feel like R4 isn't even the main focus in here because of just how terrifying Sil looks at the bottom corner there. But for overall, I like how the drawing looks. The hair is really nice and really fluffy. This is a big part of R4, that she has like fluffy hair and stuff, and I really like that one. In my personal opinion, R4 could look actually a bit more terrified, not just in general because she has like actual PTSD about the Solver, but just how how terrifying Sil looks in this picture. And the thing is, this is so good that I don't even have like proper things to teach here. But basically, I already talked about lighting, that lighting can change a big part of a drawing. Also maybe something like choosing the right objects or like the right object shapes. Because if Sil in this picture had like round fingers instead of the really sharp ones, it wouldn't be as intimidating as it is right there, because our brain associates things a lot with shapes. For A4 there's a lot of round shapes and not really sharp corners and very roundish, so you can kind of empathize with her and see her in a more cutish way. While Sil in this picture has a lot of sharp corners and pointy triangles basically. I mean, just look at the fingers, look at the sharp teeth, or also the eyes. Very thin and sharp lines gives it a menacing look, and with like general shapes you can really change how a drawing is supposed to look or how it could be looked, because like in the lore Sil is very short and A4 is very tall compared to her, but through like these different art techniques you can make Sil look like the big menacing presence and A4 like a scared little child. So this is too long for a video and too complicated for me, but language of shapes in art can really help you out with your drawings. And personally, what I can criticize is actually on the head of A4, the lights or the headband. It's like not very light, but it has like one shiny spark point, which this is not how light works. Those same spark points are like in Sil's eyes, which really work well for that, but not as well as the head things for A4. And I mean, A4 still has the collar without like the semi-round symbol on it, but still the collar is there and everything else. I really like how she drew her, because it's kinda in her unique style, with still having A4 as looking like she's A4. So while Sil is very good drawn, this was still kind of a fan art contest of A4, so I'm giving it 3 absolute servers out of 5. Next up is a drawing by, I will butcher your name extremely, I think Jaden Kaninsky? I don't know, I hope this was correct. But his drawing shows his character and A4 having a little small conversation, and A4 being curious about this little creature basically. I say this drawing is perfectly fine for what it is. I quite like that the entire theming is supposed to be like shaded in black and white, but you still can see like A4's yellow, and if you zoom in on her jacket you can see that it's actually purple and not gray, but just faded out, which really cool. And even, I already said people forget the stinger all the time, but they actually didn't forget the stinger, and I honestly like the design of this one quite a lot now that I'm looking at it. I maybe note this for myself for the future, but for his character is everything fine. Honestly, it's quite well made. For A4, what's a little bit confusing is there was a little white spots above the hands. I think they're supposed to represent gloves. I'm not sure, but overall I'm not going to complain about the hands at all, because I can't draw hands either. But again, this is translating a character that's already existed in an already existing art style into your art style very well, because it makes A4 look unique without changing her complete appearance. It means you can still recognize it as A4. And now to the part for the art tips. First of all, just something in general. You can see A4's hand popping out of her hair, which would be completely fine, but kinda it looks a bit off if you look too detailed at it. Like if you just zoom out, you barely notice it, but if you pay a bit more attention, the arm isn't attached to anything and the shoulder would be way too far out for it to be realistically attached to an arm. So like, even though A4's proportions are intentionally offset in this picture, you still have to keep your own proportions inclusive for the drawing to make sense. So you maybe would have angled it in the other direction so it looks more like A4 is actually her arm is attached to her body. And also, speaking of her body, it kinda implies that A4 looks over her shoulder, but her body looks straight ahead. It's very difficult drawing offset angle, I think it's called. And A4's head is very difficult to draw from the side. I don't think I have drawn her ever looking from the side. So this is completely fair, and I actually don't know how to fix this in art, but an art tip in general is this is a very good trick to do. Like, it doesn't make sense at all, but it looks very good because probably either the body would have turned to the camera, which would look worse, or the head would look to the character, which would also have looked worse. But this combination of something that would actually make no sense makes a lot of sense in this drawing. So this is a generalized tip. It's very specific if you have to use it, but if you know it, it could be quite helpful. Also, before I go into the rating, I just wanted to say A4's knees are glowing for some reason, like they're shining spots. I just realized. That's interesting. But yeah, I like this drawing. It's really well made, and again, I really like the head tilt thing. Can't do it myself, so I'm impressed by it. But still, there are some flaws with the picture. I'm going to give it 3 bad candy heads out of 5. But I don't actually know if he has drawn the background himself or not, because it looks very pasted in. But if he's drawn the background himself, I'm going to give it like 4 out of 5. But I'm not sure actually. But the last drawing is by Crafty Mafty, which is actually not even a part of the contest, but it was coincidentally that she made fan art for me, just like I think 1 day before the contest actually ended. So I just decided, hey, you didn't know that the contest was taking place, but how about I just include you? And she said, okay, you can do that. Recently I've been becoming a big fan of her, because her character design is very good and very well made, and I honestly want to make a fan art of her characters. But first of all, speaking about my character, this is a really good drawing. I think this might be a reference to one of the drawings I made with BB3 and A4, I think. But hot take, I think this drawing looks better than my own drawing. I really like this one, and it's currently my phone wallpaper. But because it's my phone wallpaper, I noticed a lot of stuff about it. First of all, before I start criticizing anything, I really like the background with the stars, giving it like a shiny look, and with the snow, giving like really the vision that is windy outside and the hair is flowing. I didn't do this myself, but it really looks great here. But now to the actual part that is fascinating for me. The drawing looks like, if you zoom in, like there's a lot drawn over the lines, double lines, and not properly colored out and stuff. Like it looks like it should be, I don't want to say bad, but not as high quality. As soon as you zoom out, it looks really great, and it's fascinating me honestly, because all of this entire video has been about different tricks in art to make art look better, and all of this wasn't used here. However, this drawing still looks incredible, and I think this is the best lesson to end off the video, to show that it doesn't matter if you can draw, if you can't draw, if you use like these special techniques or if you don't use them, you can still create absolutely amazing art pieces. But now for just some general tips. Sorry, my audio glitched out again, so that's why I'm quickly recording it this way. But I basically was talking about the hair, that it feels kinda 2D, like of course it's a 2D drawing, but it feels kind of flat. Like you could have added a little bit more shapes and different hair strengths to it. For example, in the bottom, just a few more hairs going off it, because right now it just looks like it is frozen in place. Some of them is actually going against the wind, which that wouldn't make sense here, but I guess it's fine, because otherwise they would be in the face and kind of ruin the vibe of the picture. But it really looks mystical in a way, and has great, I know no other way to describe this than it has a certain aura to it that I really like. I find it so interesting and cool. It's so fascinating to me. That's why I'm giving it 5 snowflakes out of 5. And with this should conclude the video. I actually don't know how... Oh, I have been recording for way too long. Oh no, I need to edit this. God damn it. Anyways, let's keep this quick, because Editing Raptor is probably going to have his final exams soon, and I'm not sure if I finished them before or after this. So I don't know how quickly he's going to edit all of it. But something I would like to mention is I kinda promised at one point that I will show off fan art in the end of videos, and I kinda never did that. I'm sorry, but from now on I'm actually going to show off in these outro cards fan art in the end. I hope I don't forget it, and if yes, please remind me of it. Anyways, my lovelies, I hope have a great day. I can't talk anymore.